Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Benga Adeyemo. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer and I'm also a Power BI developer. Today I'm going to be talking to you about one very interesting topic in Power BI known as role-playing dimension in Power BI. Now, what is role-playing dimension? Now, I want you to imagine a table that can serve multiple purposes, right? That is what we refer to as role-playing dimension, right? It refers to a scenario where a single table can be used for different purposes within a report, right? We call it helper table because it can perform various functions, right? Okay, now let's look at the case study here. We have case study 101. In case study 101, we have a sales table, right? The sales table has three important date columns. The order date that tells us when the order was placed, the shipping date that tells us when the order was shipped, and the delivery date that tells us when the order was delivered. Now, as a Power BI developer, you are tasked to answer three important questions, right? Number one is you want to know the quantity of product ordered, right? You want to know the quantity of product shipped, and you also want to know the quantity of product delivered, right? So how this connects is that when it comes to you knowing the quantity of product ordered, then you have to relate that to the order date. If you want to know the quantity of product shipped, you have to relate it to the shipping or the ship date. If you want to know the quantity of product delivered, then we are relating that to the delivery date, right? Now, how do you implement role-playing dimension in Power BI? Now, there are three major steps that you need to go through, right, to solve the case study 101. Now, number one step is for you to create a date table. So you are creating a date dimension table, right? Which will serve as our role playing dimension, right? Because it can help us to, know the quality of products ordered, shipped, and delivered, right? So you are creating a date table with other the date attributes that comes with a date table, like your year, your month, your day, etc. Right? The second step is that you define relationship. That is, you create a relationship between the date column in your date table and the date columns that you have in your fact table, right? I mean, what I mean by this is that in your fact table, your sales fact table, you have order date, shipping date, and you have delivery dates, right? So you are going to create a relationship between the date in the calendar or the date table with all of these date columns that exist also in the sales fact table. Now, I want you to know that in Power BI relationship, right, when creating relationship between tables, you can only create one active relationship between two tables. That is, you cannot have more than one active relationship between two tables. So let's assume that you create a relationship between the order dates column in the sales table with the date column in the date or the calendar table. Now that's going to give you an active relationship, right? But if you now want to connect that same date column in your date table with the other date columns like the shipping date and the delivery date, is going to give you an inactive relationship, right? Now, this now brings us to our third step, which is for you to activate the inactive relationships between the date in the date table and the date, the order, the delivery and the shipping date in the sales table, right? So what you're going to do is that you are going to use a DAX function called user relationship to activate the inactive relationship that exists between the date table and the sales table, right? By the virtue of the what you created between shipping dates and the dates in the date table and delivery dates and the date in the date table. So now, what are the benefits? You might be wondering, what are the benefits of creating a role-playing dimension? Why do you need to do that? Now, one benefit of role-playing dimension is that it helps you simplify your data model, right? It helps you to reduce redundancy because you don't have to be creating, uh, multiple identical tables, right? So in the context of case study 101 now, what we are saying here is that you don't need to create multiple date tables, right? That are going to connect to all these date columns that you have in your sales file table, right? Consistency, it ensures that you use the same set of attributes across different rows. So you are using attributes like your year, month, your week number, blah blah blah. You are using all those attributes across different rows. Now the third benefits, right, of role playing dimension. I can start mentioning a lot of benefits, but I'm just going to stop at three, right? Is flexibility, right? Role playing dimension enables you. It enables analysis across different perspectives, right? Because it activates different relationships as needed, right? So it enables flexibility. It allows you to analyze across different perspectives. Now let's move to the practical part. where I'm going to show you how you can actually do this inside of Power BI desktop. So now the first thing you're going to do now is to open your Power BI desktop. So I already have a data that I prepared for this video. I'm going to be connecting to that data set. It's an Excel data set. So I'm going to click on Excel workbook here, right? So I'll go to, it's on my desktop. Then I'll go to role playing data. I'm going to connect to that. I'll click on role playing data. I'll allow Power BI to connect to that data set in just a few seconds. Okay, I have my navigator opened. I click on this sheet 2 to preview. It's a very small data just for explaining the concept of role playing dimension. So I check this, I go to my transform data. I go to my transform data. I'm not doing much of data cleaning because the data is very small. So I can rename these as sales. For example, I have my order date, I have my ship date, and I have my delivery date. Okay, I'm not doing anything much, so I'm just going to close and apply. I also have my quantity column. Yes, I didn't mention that. So I close and apply this. Give it a few seconds for it to apply changes. Okay, even though I didn't make any change anyway. Okay, loading, 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 loading. Okay, done. Now, when I'm done with this, the next thing I'm going to do is to create a very simple calendar table, right? For the sake of those that don't know how to create a calendar table, I will just show you how to do that right away. So I will go to my table view here. I will click on new table. I will click on new table. I'm going to call it dates, right? So I'm going to make sure that this is, I'm going to make sure that this is, let me create using a variable, right? So I'll call the first variable minimum underscore dates equals to, so I'm going to say minimum of the order dates, minimum of the order dates in the sales table, right? I want to create it based on that range. The second variable is max underscore dates, right? This one is going to be the maximum of the delivery dates, right? The maximum delivery dates, right? And I'm going to say return calendar, minimum dates and the maximum dates variable that we just created, right? I'm going to click on enter. I'm going to click on enter. So now let me change the format of this to short dates. This is going to be year, month, and day alone. Then let me just create some other attributes like my year, my month, blah blah blah. Year equals to year, the year function of what? Of the dates in my date table. I get year. Let me also do months. Probably I can do just months and month name, and that's all. So months equals the month. That's like the month number. Let me just do month name instead. So I don't think I have more than just 1 year. So format the date in the date table as what? As months. So I'm going to use MMM, close double quotes, press enter. Okay. So I only have October, November, December, January, February. Okay, which is good. Yeah, so I have this. I don't think I need anything much. And I have how many years there? Just 2 years, right? Just 2 years, 2024, 2025. So when I'm done, I'll go to my relationship, view, and I'm going to create a relationship between just order dates and the date column here, right? So order date and to date. Make it active. Yes. Click on save. Click on save. Now I've created, you see that I only created that relationship between just the order date alone. I still have ship date and delivery date. So let's see how things are going to work. So now I want to know the quantity order, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to create the measure. I will click on the table here. I'll click on new measure. And for that, I don't need to use any filter or anything. I'm just going to say quantity ordered. It's just going to say simply the sum of the quantity column that I have in my sales table, right? Very simple, easy, straightforward, right? Now that I have this, let me bring in a matrix table. I'm bringing a matrix table here, right? Bring in a matrix table here, so I'm going to bring in What do I want to bring in? I want to bring in the year and probably the month. Okay, let me make this bigger. Oh, I want them to be on I want to be on. Okay, let me do this, let me do this, let me do. Okay, I can even expand it here. Okay, good. But it's not arranging it well the way I want. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm still going to go back here. Let me go back to the calendar table, sorry, the date table. Yeah, same thing. I'll click on new column. I'll click on new column, and I will just say month number. Month number is equals to the month, right? Or let me just say format instead of using that. Let me just say format to date, right? Format to date, the date table as what? 00, and press enter. Oh, that is not working. That is not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to just say format the month, right? Format the month of the dates. Okay, so with this, I'm supposed to just close this. Okay, am I doing anything wrong here? Okay, okay, good. So I want to just make sure that 0102, okay, 10, 11, 12, okay, everything looks good now. So when I'm done with this, I'm just going to click on my month, and I will tell it to sort this column by the month number, right? Okay, when that is done, I go back here and I will see that everything is now well arranged. Okay, so let me just make this bigger. I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to go to values, increase this. Oh, I don't have values there yet. Sorry about that. So column headers, let me increase that to make it bigger. Okay, I also go to row headers, make that bigger also, so that we can see it clearly. Okay, everything looks good now. So what do I need to do if I want to see the quantity delivered, quantity shipped? So let me put my quantity ordered first here, right? So we can see what was ordered, right? So we see that when I put that there, what you see is that it's only showing 2024. So it means that every order took place October, November, and December 2024. And you're seeing the total here, right? Okay, let me now see sheet now, and let me see quantity, delivered. So what I need to do is to go back to my data model. I'm going to create a relationship between the ship dates and the dates in the date table, right? Ship dates and the dates in the ship table. Then I'm going to click on save, right? So I need to correct something here. Let me go back. Oh, I think by default that is cross theta direction both. So I click on save, right? So you see that this is a dotted line. It's different from this one that is a straight line. This is a dotted line. It means what it signifies is inactive relationship, right? Now to activate, what am I going to do? To activate, what I'm going to do is to go back to my report canvas, and I'll write another that calculation. I'll click on new measure. I'll click on new measure here, and I'll just simply say quantity sheep, right? Quantity sheep now will be equals to, you see, calculate, right? Calculate the sum of quantity, right? Calculate the sum of quantity in the sales table, right? Comma. You now use the function user relationship, right? Column one is going to be the date. It's going to be the date in the date table, comma, and the ship date, right? I close brackets and I press enter. Okay, I need to close brackets one more time. I check this. Okay, now I use this user relationship to activate the inactive relationship between the date in the date table with the ship date in the sales table, right? Now I can drag this inside my table here, right? Oh, it's giving me the same numbers and something is not right. So what I need to do now is, I think I made a mistake here. So let me remove this. Let me remove it. So maybe the ship date comes first. So ship date comes first before the dates in the dates table, right? So I click on enter. Okay, now it is correct now. So you have to be careful of this, right? Okay, so you see now that it's telling me that the quantity order took place October to December, 25 quantity in October, 25 quantity of product in November, and 998 in December, right? Making 1048. Now, this 1048, it was shipped in December, right? So nothing was shipped in October, nothing was shipped in November. All this 1048 was shipped in December 2024. Now let's look at when all these other plays were actually delivered. Now we know quantity ordered. Now we know quantity shipped. Now let's look at the delivery. Right? Let's see how the delivery went. So I'm just going to use the same thing. I'm going to first create that relationship, even though it's going to be inactive. So delivery date to the date here, right? You see that? Many to one, it cannot be active. It's going to be inactive relationship. If I try to make it active, yeah, I'm not going to be, it's going to, cause ambiguity. So let me just, it's inactive and save it. It's also going to have a dotted line, right? Also going to have a dotted line. Okay, good. So I'll just come here again. I'll just go to the quantity shape that I did. I'm going to just copy it. No need for me to write. Just click on new measure, right? I'll just click on new measure and I'll just paste that. So I'll just change this to quantity delivered. And I'm just going to change this to delivery date, right? Check this. Okay, so now when this is done, I just drag in my quantity delivered here. I will drag that in, right? And now you can see that out of the 1048 that was shipped in December, only 55 was delivered in that same December 2024, right? And the other delivery took place the following year. That is February 2025, right? In total, 993 plus this 55 makes up 1048. So in summary, let me just say it again so you understand. So quantity ordered is 1048, right? So the breakdown of the order goes by 25 in October, 25 in November, 998 in December 2024, right? Nothing was ordered February 2025, right? Now this from this 1048, right, everything was shipped, right, in December 2024, right? The entire order that took place October to December was shipped in December 2024, right? And the final delivery took place starting from December 2024. So only 55 were delivered in 2024 December, and the rest, which is 993, was delivered in February 2025. Now you see that this same date table, or we call it calendar table, right, is serving multiple purposes. We are using it to connect to the sales data for us to be able to write calculations that would show us or give us the quantity ordered, the quantity delivered, and the quantity shipped, right? So this date or this calendar table is called the role playing dimension because it's serving multiple purposes. So I've come to the end of my video today. Guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in my next video.